Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Onside Inside podcast. I'm your host, Corey Tompkins, and today we've got an exciting guest, Josh Ford. Josh Ford's journey in the electrical field sparked back in 2011 in Victoria, leading him from the intrinsic low voltage tasks to the high stakes of the high voltage substations, even lighting up iconic locations like the MCG. His path wasn't without detours though, including a reflective pause in Byron Bay, but he returned to complete his apprenticeship and carve out a successful career. Now balancing a bustling life up at 4:30 every morning, managing a family, training, outdoors and all the adventures, Josh also steers a thriving business. His resilience shines through his recovery from early day challenges and earning accolades like the best residential project in New South Wales in the electrical space. Join us for a charged conversation with Josh, unpacking the lessons from his dynamic journey in the trade. Josh, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming. I know it wasn't around the corner, but thanks for the fucking...
I'm getting used to driving up to Brisbane. It's not too bad.
Yeah, you should buy a place up here.
Mate,
It's
I had a good drive today. I'd allowed myself 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it only took 2, so I managed to sneak a coffee in when I got up here, which was good.
A nice comfy car to drive as well.
That's it, mate. It's not too hard in that thing, so it's all right.
Yeah. So start off, Josh. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you're at. You know, just a little recap.
So we are an electrical contracting business based out of Ballina, Byron Bay area. So our main focus is like high-end residential, commercial, which we're trying to push more into now. But we pretty much do everything. Like we're doing solar. We've got a solar division. Yeah. Any little maintenance, like we're still doing small call-outs, real estate work, like anything like that. We're pretty much trying to cover every aspect of the trade, automation, everything like that. So we're pretty much doing all that. We've got a team of around 20 at the moment, which we scaled back a little bit. So we went a bit over 20 and we've just sort of scaled back to, I think we might just be sitting just under or just on 20. That's like a crew. We got a crew of 7 of us in the office as well. So we got a full-time estimator.
Yeah. And is it just yourself, or do you have?
So I got a business partner as well.
Yeah.
So when we started the business, there was 2 of us. We ended up getting someone else buying in. There was 3 of us, and one of the original guy I started with ended up buying out after a couple of years. So just didn't really work out. Didn't plan out the way we were going with it, and we sort of had a bit of a change of direction. So now it's me and Jared, my business partner. So 2 of us, and we've both got different sort of skills and things that we bring to business, which is really good.
So do you have different job? Like, what's your job role?
Yeah, so I think the good thing with Jared, he's got his level 2. So I think it's different up here. So level 2 is like climbing poles. So like, so I don't know who's up here.
I'm not too sure all over the
rest. So up here, so down there, a level 2 electrician is like point of attachment out to the pole on the street, so we can do all those connections and pit connections. He also had his solar ticket as well. He was my supervisor at the place I was working at the time. So he was working there as my supervisor. He got me my job there and stuff. And then when I left, it was kind of like I always knew that I wanted to go into business with him as well. So managed to entice him to come across, and that's where we kind of launched. We're super different, but we've both got real good. I think we complement each other in different ways. So we've never really set out our roles specifically of what we each do, but I guess we both we know it naturally, you know what I mean? So if a big job comes in for level 2 solar, he will be in charge of those ones. The more commercial ones I'm dealing with, residential, we kind of both look after our own builders as well. So it's almost like 2 separate it's 2 separate sides. He'll have his builders that call him. I've got my builders that call me. He's got his workers that call him. I've got my workers that call me. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like...
So you're all just under the same banner, but different
sides.
Like
it works. Like it's all streamlined in the way it works. And, I think we bounce off each other so much as well. Like there's no way I'd be where I am now without him. And I think it's vice versa, you know? Like I guarantee he wouldn't be running an Instagram page or Facebook or anything like that. Like he's not up with any of that sort of stuff. So, but also he brings like another skill set as well that I definitely didn't have. So and knowledge within the industry. So it's so good having that. But then also me probably having the more social side, connection side with I guess meeting clients, finding new work and stuff like that. So yeah.
And I guess the thing is like, just to give the listeners a bit of context, like what was your, I know you touched on it just a second ago, but so how long were you working on the tools when you started with these guys, or did you come in?
So when it originally started, so it was me and one of the other guys, Nick, who I started with. We were working for the same. We were both working for the same company. We decided on a name, and we both talked about that we want to go out and start our own company. We came up with New Age Electrical.
Yeah.
We designed a logo.
Yeah.
And got some t-shirts made, and he goes, well, I'm going to go out and start it full time. So he started it full time, and I was going in the arvos and then on the weekends, and then going after work and going, righto.
Just transitioned.
It's kicking off. I went to my boss at the time and said, look.
And you were servicing the same area that you're servicing at the moment?
Same area. So it was kind of like not a bad relationship with our old boss when we first left, and then because
I was going to say, how does that work now that obviously we're going to jump back to it, but
now he does
now
not like us.
Yeah, because I was going to say, now that you've got
it's been 5 years.
Your team, having such a big team like you having that sort of team here would be big. Having that sort of team down there would basically dominate.
Bigger. He was in the area for a long time as well, so I think definitely he's still not stoked on us now, especially when I got Jared to come across as well. He was pretty much running his business, so I think that was a big hit for him. But I went to him, circling back, I went to him and said, look, mate, I need a bit more money. I'm going to go with Nick for 2 days a week, and I'll sub you to you 3 days a week. I was running all these bigger projects and stuff, so I was like, I can still run all the projects. Whatever days you need me, I'll work, and I'll just do that just so I can make some extra cash. I've just had my second kid, and he was like, nah, the full time with me or nothing. And that was I was like, righto, well, I'll go full time.
Yeah, it was a way just to kick in.
And that's when I jumped across and just went from there. And it sort of, as soon as both of us were on board full time, we knew we had to get more work.
It's one of those things, though, like I feel like you're not really, unless you just got to get pushed in the pool, and then you just learn to swim.
I was keen, like I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to do it, and I knew I was motivated because I was going there every night, and I was giving up time with my kids, and I had 2 daughters, and I was still young, like probably 26 at the time. So I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew the motivation I needed. And if I did go out on it, I had to make it work. Like there was no going back. So I think that's when once we were both on board fully, that's when we just started launching.
Yeah.
And that's where we started getting big jobs like real quick.
Yeah.
So a bit like it was scary as well because I didn't know how to quote real well. So we sort of fluked our way through a few quotes, and we were doing cost plus.
I guess that's something that like I really want to dive in on today is that there's a lot of guys out there that are just starting out, and I guess someone in your position now that's been there from the start. Now you got you've gone through the hurdles, and I would say now you've built yourself a business that's pretty reputable. Like it's a good solid foundation. You know what I mean? Like, well, I can only tell. I don't look at your books or anything like that, but just looking in from the outside, like what we've spoke about before. Like it looks good, and I think for the guys that are listening out there that are thinking about doing it, is it the right thing to do? Is it not right the thing to do? I guess, that's something, you've got a lot of experience in that space, good or bad. So, and I guess that's things that I just want to touch on is like, what were some of the main issues? Like, I think you touched on it briefly with Nathan anyway, about the challenges at the very start. Like, was it always, I guarantee it's never all fucking roses, but what were some of the, the main growing pains and growing points? Because as you said, you jumped off, you had 2 kids, and there's a lot of guys out there. I even know guys that are out there that are doing it at the moment. You took the leap, well, you didn't choose to take the leap. You got fucking pushed in the direction to take the leap. You got 2 kids at home. You got nothing else other than for the job to succeed. And it doesn't matter. You can win all the fucking jobs you want in the world. Like as you can win all the big jobs. That doesn't mean that you're going to get a successful business. That doesn't mean you're making mad money.
Nah,
you know what I mean? That doesn't mean anything at all. Like, take it from me. Like, 22, signed a $1.3 million contract, made this much, nothing. So it doesn't mean anything in the world. It just, I think you have to walk that path and,
I think 100%. Like, and if you don't know your numbers, you're nothing. And yeah, and people, I see it so much, and I see there's a lot of Sparkies that are coming up where we are, and I know that they don't know their numbers, and like I'm like, fuck, like I know what they're charging as an hourly rate, and I'm like, fuck, mate, you're not making any money, and like it don't, all it does is draw the rest of the industry down, because I know what we need to charge, and that's why we don't do cost plus. Like, we want to quote everything, because I know what everything's worth, and if you put it on paper of saying what I've got to charge as an hourly rate and what the bloke down the road's charging, I guarantee he's nowhere near what we are. Granted, they probably don't have the overheads we have, and we're one of the biggest in the area, so our overheads are obviously big.
Yeah.
But with that, you've obviously got to see as well, like, if you're going to pay more money, you want to be getting more value. So we've got to, we've got the people in the office, we've got that. Like, that's what you're paying for. Like, you're not paying for a $70 an hour Sparky that's going to rock up when he wants to.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see it all the time. Like, I know when someone, and I've had it, like, we're pretty open with a few guys with pricing, with quotes and stuff, because we all know we're sort of pricing. I don't know, that's illegal. You're not really meant to do that, but like
everyone does it.
We know where we're at. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I know if someone's missed something, I'm going, mate, you missed something, and it's more a thing of helping people, of being like, I don't care if we don't get the job. I'd rather you, as someone that's coming up, if you're going to take it, I want you to know if you've missed something, because if we're 50 grand more than you, there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? We're not just 50 grand more expensive. You've probably missed something that we've picked up on, and we actually had it on a job where we knew a couple of other Sparkies pricing it, and they've missed out heated flooring, heaps of things, and we're like, mate, the builder just shunned us to the side and go, nah, you guys are 100 grand more. Yeah. And we're like, well, what's the reason? And they didn't even want to go through it.
It happens on the fucking daily. Like, for us, it's the same. Like, you know, we do like a lot of like multi-res stuff, like childcare centers and that, and we get priced out a fair amount of time. But the guys that I'm doing a lot of stuff for now, I've got a pretty good relationship with them, that they will sort of tell, like, prime example, we got one coming up, and like he pretty much just said to me, he's like, listen, you're this much more. And then, I did like a cost review and went back through it and had another look, and there was obviously shit that I've added in. Yeah. So it wasn't a case of me having to lower my price. I just ended up saying to him, listen, I'm not going to lower my price, but if you want to exclude, X, Y, and Z, and do it as a provisional sum at a later date at this rate, you can do it. So we just fucking took that out. Yeah. Got the job, but in the hourly rate situation, that's something that we find is fucking difficult up here as well. Yeah. Our hourly rate is, so much, and then if a guy's coming in, he's got, we seen a guy on a job the other day, one guy in a van, 4 apprentices. Yeah. Yeah. All every single one of them, yeah. And they're all like first, second year. Yeah. And he was charging less. Yeah. But see, our thing is we don't charge out our apprentices any less than what we charge our qualifieds out. Yeah. So it's a flat rate across the board. And I think that's been some, I wouldn't say arguments, but some, tough conversations to have when we're doing a lot of hourly rate stuff.
If people don't understand it, I guess it's hard to get it across. But I think that's one of the biggest things for us, like, as a growing pain, I'd say, was when we figured that out. Yeah. And like, doing a cost analysis calculator of our overheads, blew me away the first time I did that. And I was like, man, you're kidding.
Everything, yeah.
There's no fucking way. Like, I didn't believe it. And I had to go back and do it again. And I did that with someone who does it professionally, and going back through, I'm like, fuck. Like, he's like, yeah, well, whatever you're charging, you got to add $40 to that, mate.
So what was so I think the other, like, a little advice as well for the listeners would be, is you can create, like, you do your cost analysis, you find out, all right, I need to charge $90, whatever the hourly rate is, right? You boost it to whatever. That's the easy part. The hard part now that a lot of people don't talk about is, how do you actually now get yourself in the door with that hourly rate when you're competing against guys that are $20, $30 less? Yeah. I guess that's the like, for us, that's been the difficult part. Like,
I think with that, it's all got to come down to value. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, someone's going to go to you with, say, $100 an hour and $120 an hour. You're $20 more an hour. Why are you $20 more an hour? You can't just go, I know my numbers, because someone's going to go, well, fuck, if he doesn't know his numbers, but he's still good chippy, I'll just use him. So it's got to be like having that value and being like, well, if you're why are you $120 an hour? And that's where we're trying to provide like a service that other people aren't. And I know that's what we do provide because we've got the admin team.
Yeah.
We're punching out quotes quick.
Have you thought? Would you say that your social presence has helped with any of that?
Yeah, I think so. Like,
Yeah.
I think just like letting people in. That's what social media is really. It's like letting people into your business and. You know, I'm not saying we're not doing vlogs of what we're doing every day, but, you know, like keeping people, like showing people on site, like what we're doing, like showing the workmanship that you're doing and stuff like that. Like, I think it, you know, it lets people in and it shows that that you're passionate about it, that you care about it. And I think it gives people an insight to what your work's like, what your team's like, you know, like you're filming people that work for you and people can see that, you know, you got good culture and people are having fun and people enjoy themselves and things like that. But I think the value is the biggest thing, and being able to find what value you can offer to someone is like a whole nother thing because you can't just say, oh yeah, I've got admin stuff and I can turn around quotes. But if to a builder, I got to be. That's why we've got things like project managers. Obviously, we've got project managers that work out of the office. That's an overhead. You know what I mean? But that's got to become as a benefit to the builder. And it does because they've got
it's less stressful,
a way more organised job. They don't just have a tradie that works for me on site. They've got a project manager that is organising everything with them. The materials are there. Everything's done. So they liaise with them. If they go, oh, mate, we need to do this variation, he's in the office, goes bang, 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 done. And you're getting it back within minutes if you need it. You know what I mean? Whereas like a tradie's on site and he's going, I'll
get back to you.
Yeah, I'll get back to the office and I'll do this. So like that's where the value's got to, and people got to understand that. And it's like, if you don't understand that as a builder looking for an electrician, then maybe the guy that's cheaper might be more suited to you. But if you're trying to run a business well as well, then you'd actually understand that value. And that's you know like. And
that's right. I think you've got to find the value. And that's one of the golden nuggets is you've got to find the value on how you're going to give it. Like you know, you can't just sort of tell someone on how they're to give their value because everyone's different. Like you could be in carpentry, but depending on who you're dealing with is a different value. For us, the best way for us to do it is our biggest value is we're dealing with like a lot of the time they're builder developers. Yeah. So these guys that we're dealing with, they don't really give a fuck about all the ins and outs. Yeah. And, you know, they're not thinking about what we're thinking about. So my biggest selling point to them is that, you know, if we're 20, 30 grand more, or we're even the same, and I'm competing at the moment, you know, my biggest thing is that, you know, I'll organise the meetings with, you know, the designer. You know, I'll organise the meeting with, you know, we'll get together prior to the job happening. You're like, I'll take, you know, my biggest saying is like, I'll take away all your headaches.
You
know what I mean? Yeah. I'll take your stress. The other day, like I was standing with a guy, like a developer on the street, and you know, he pretty much said to me, he said, "Fuck me, I'll just sign it now. Like it's done." You know what I mean? Like because his mentality is that if I can fucking take it from him, you know, I've got the track record of the jobs. Like he knows he come up to me, but he knows what we can do, how fast we can do X, Y, and Z. But the biggest selling point from him was just, you know, if I can take his fucking headaches away and organise it all, and his supervisor doesn't need to stress out of their mind about anything, you know, for him, that's the biggest thing. Or the alternative is you get a guy that's slightly cheaper, that's got 3 apprentices, that is on site full time, that, you know, might be running 3-4 different jobs all at the same time, got no one in the office, hasn't got an office, and just fucking, you know,
chaos. You might
just
ask him to do
chaos, you know what I mean? And he's got no idea. Where with me, like, I'm away from the situation, so I've got guys that, you know, I bring them into the office, we run through jobs, and then they usually just run it. And then if there's any sort of anything else over and above that, I usually just oversee it. You know, we're not quite at the point yet where we have, you know, an operations team or anything yet, but yeah, no, definitely the value is the number one ticket. So, all right, guys, congratulations, you're halfway through this episode. I hope you guys are really enjoying it. But first, I just want to make a special thank you to Ideal Group Australia. Without them, I wouldn't be able to bring this podcast to you. So special thank you. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Buckle in and get ready to listen to the end of this episode.
This is what people, it's a hard thing for people to grasp. And like you said, everyone can offer something different. So I think finding what you what you can literally sell. Like at the end of the day, we're salesmen. Like you're selling a product. You're selling yourself your product. So
literally, you're
your
selling
business,
yourself. Yeah,
you've got to be able to sell yourself. So like just going up against someone in a quote. The other thing we do is we have like, so if we do a tender, we've got photos and like full breakdowns, and it's just like little things like that. Like it's in a nice document with like photos of the job in there and stuff. And then we'll see one of the other quotes, and it's just like a list of stuff with a price at the bottom. And it's like, that's the other thing. Like you're looking at that going, well, these guys have spent obviously a lot more time. A lot more time on that. Like, you got to look at those things.
Who you're going to go with, and that's the other thing. Like as a young, business owner as well, is the fact that we haven't been around for fucking 25, 30 years. It's probably a little bit different down there, but up in Brizzy, you're contending with guys that have been running for 45, 50 years. You know what I mean? They've got the name. They might not have the presence on socials, but they've got the fucking name. So it's like, all right, well, how do you compete? Yeah. So the only way to compete is, socials is one thing. That's one way to get your shit out there, but that's not everything. It's not everything. But at the end of the day, you got to sell yourself. Yeah. And what you're about.
Having something different. Like someone's been doing it for 25 years. They might be doing the same thing now that they've been doing for 25 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? If like there is guys that are older that they're keeping up and doing new things, but some guys are just doing what they're doing. So if you can bring something new to the table, like there's your value. You know what I mean? Something different, something new, and something that other people aren't doing, like this, what you're doing now. Yeah. What you're doing with the social media, like those sort of things. I think that's huge. Yeah. And you'll see more people will follow and start doing it.
Oh, 100%. I think we're still in the fucking early stages of the whole.
It's so endless to where it can go. And I kind of look at like one thing that we're trying to do is the YouTube, and it's hard because get busy and I sort of drop back and I'm doing so many things, and I've made a couple of videos on there which are like I guess you could kind of say they're vloggy videos, but it's more just like explaining jobs we're doing and stuff, and like people love it. And I'm like, in the UK, there's like a massive market for Sparkies doing it. It's huge over there. And they got like 100,000 subs.
There's one guy that I watched over there, and all he does is he's like he does trucking over there. He's in the UK, big guy. Yeah. And massive dude. It's crazy. He does like a vlog every day.
Yeah. People love it.
But like when you jump, like it's the same as us. Like when you jump in the comment section, like we're getting absolutely ridiculed at the moment. But we just get mad chat.
I saw your video the other day. I was gonna say like
we just get mad chat thrown our way.
How do you feel about that? Like, so you're putting yourself out there. Do you put the criticism aside? Like, is that something?
100%. It doesn't affect me. Doesn't affect you. It probably affects my wife more than it affects me. But that's one thing for us. Like me and Nathan, we sit back and we love it. You know what I mean?
It's funny. There's always you're never gonna. There wouldn't be one person that does a YouTube channel or something that hasn't got one bit of hate on there. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, this guy that we follow, he massive following. He's got like I think like 1 million or 1.5 million subscribers. Yeah, like so those big numbers for trucking or whatever he does. And jumped on his comments the other day, and some people were like, "Is this all this fucking guy does? Yeah. Doesn't have any other job?" I'm like.
People are gonna hate on anything.
Bro, I'm like he like is it he fuck.
He's probably making bank.
Yeah, he's probably doing he's obviously built that company from nothing to something. Yeah. And he's like, so it's not like he's done nothing. But anyway, it's just people jumping in there and just jumping on it. But it's gonna get bigger. Like in Australia anyway. Like I think
there's so much potential. It hasn't hit here like it has over there. And like I look at the Sparkies over there, and I actually went on a podcast in the UK.
Oh, did you?
Electricians podcast in the UK. And they have all the guys that are,
Did you go over? Didn't go over there?
Nah, just a Zoom at 4 a.m. But so I went on that on that, and some the guys that they get on there, they got like over 100,000 like subscribers on YouTube. They're making money out of it. Like, but people like they're doing like there's a couple guys that are doing really like cool stuff with like videography and stuff. Some guys just walking around with a GoPro, showing what they do in the day, and people love it. And I'm like, mate, I don't know if it'd be the same over here. I feel like, mate, I don't know if the culture's the same of people following along, but I think it's getting there, and like people actually find it interesting as well. So
we'll get there. I feel like Australia is sometimes behind with a lot of things. Like the States are it's fucking nuts over there. Like
people
you can
making
literally
videos on anything. So I think
there was one I was watching the other day. I was like, you know, fuck this chick, like she's a YouTuber and she does videos like live streams herself sleeping.
Mate,
It makes like 10,000 a month.
Yeah,
or
how
something.
much?
I'm like, bro, like,
Mate,
what
the shit my daughters watch on YouTube. I'm like,
Oh.
they just watch kids playing with toys. I'm
Oi.
like, fucking go and play with the toys.
That was one.
And
Yeah,
I look
I
up,
only
these kids are on,
recently
like,
found out
millions of
about
dollars.
that, and then
They
I
get-
deeped. What's his name? Ryan's World, or something.
There's so many.
Yeah,
And they're all
fucking make a drop to Ryan's World. But
Mate.
yeah, I jumped on, had a look. Yeah, this
making
kid
bank.
he's got fucking like millions of subscribers,
fucking play
like
with
making
toys.
mad money off just literally all he does is playing with toys.
Oh mate, I was gonna get the
I was
GoPro out
like,
and start
what
banging a
the
couple
fuck?
Barbies together and seeing how much
Oh.
money I can make. I don't know how they do it.
You know, and the guys like us, fuck, we only get
Yeah.
3 views, and then everyone would be like, you know,
and-
you guys are
and
fucking pedos. Like,
yeah.
they'll be like, you got
Oh,
fucking
it's
cops
crazy.
start knocking on your door.
That's what I mean. That's where I reckon that's the next level, and that's where it's going. So there's
Yeah.
money in it. Obviously, people are
Yeah.
making money out of YouTube.
Yeah,
It's just whether it'll hit here and whether
Yeah.
people want to see what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I want to get into that. Like
Yeah.
once I get a bit more time,
yeah.
I just don't want to do it half-assed. I want to be making cool videos.
Yeah.
And
And
there's
that
a-
was something
yeah.
that we like, you know, this has been in the fucking works for ages.
Yeah.
But yeah, in regards to just like making the time, I just said to Nathan, and I laid it out with my team as well.
Yeah.
That was something that we, as a business, we actually spoke about, you know,
Yeah.
and they were all for it.
Yeah.
Because I laid it out for them and I said, listen, like, this is what we want to do. Like, we want to get in a position where everyone knows us.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to stop. We want to grow. Like, we want to fucking grow.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only way to do it in this day and age is fucking collaborating with people, socials, like being present.
Yeah.
Other than, like, newspapers are dead.
Yeah.
Ads on TV are dead. You know what I mean? People spend 6, 7, 8 hours a day on their phone. If you do a study, it's anywhere between 5 to 10 hours a day.
Crazy.
Each person spends on their mobile phone,
Yeah.
on socials, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's becoming an attention, you know, economy. You
Yeah.
know, if you can get someone's attention
And-
on their mobile phone,
That's
that's
it.
how you're going to win.
And
So,
you're in people's face.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like if you're doing that, and like you're saying with TikTok or all those things, like you're being seen by people,
Yeah.
and like you're gonna obviously cop the hate, but like it's gonna outweigh it with
Yeah.
the positives from it as well.
yeah,
And it's like that's
might
when
not
you
happen, might not feel like it's happening fucking now for me and Nathan, but eventually it will happen.
Yeah.
People will start loving our
Yeah.
shit. But like,
throw a couple
yeah, man.
couple love hearts on there. Come on, guys. What are you doing?
But anyway, man, like it's just, yeah, one of those things. Like for this podcast, it was basically just about people in the trade just sharing their fucking, you know, their experiences, the ins and outs, having a fucking joke, having
Yeah.
a laugh, like, you know, and just having a bit more insight to what actually is happening within the trade. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So anyway, back to our keeping on track before Nathan fucking whips me.
No more
Otherwise,
YouTube.
he'll start to fucking pinch me and be like, "Oh, you cunt! I'm giving you questions. Fucking stick to him." So anyway, back. Let's wind the clock back a little bit. Did you always plan on? I think the thing that I'm trying to pick out now is back when you were an apprentice, back when you were, you know, just starting out. Was this always the plan?
Nah, no way.
Was it
no.
always? Did you always? I know it might be. You know,
didn't cross
from,
my mind
Yeah.
at all through my apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And like when
what was the plan then?
to do anything but it. I didn't want, like when I finished, I didn't want to be a Sparky. I hated it.
Yeah.
So I left like maybe,
What was your plan? What was your thing to do?
I went to the snow,
Yeah.
got injured
Yeah.
straight away. I was meant to do a season and I got injured,
Yeah.
dislocated my knee, so I had to come back. That was before. That was before that, sorry. That was before I started. That was when I finished school. That's what I was like. I thought I was just going to be full snowboarder, going around and doing that.
So like you wanted to go pro?
Nah, not go pro.
You just wanted to,
I
like,
wanted
bum around.
just bum around at the resorts and stuff. And
Yeah.
then that's when I came back and started my apprenticeship after that. Then when I finished, I was like, righto, I'm gonna go bum at the surf, and that's when I came up to Byron. Like I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I was done. Like I was like, I honestly didn't think I would ever be a Sparky again.
Yeah.
When I first moved to Byron. And then when I needed to make money, that's when I realized I was like, fuck. And I literally got pressured into it from people. Like,
Yeah.
I was going, oh, fuck, I got no money. Like, I was working in a shop. I was working at Factory, the fucking clothing shop in town. Just found out my missus was pregnant. We'd only known each other for 3 months. I was like, fuck, my life is fucking changing dramatically. I was living in a van, living in a warehouse in the fucking bar.
Please tell me you had long hair, please.
I did have long hair.
Yes.
I had real long hair, blonde. And then, and that all fell out when I had kids. So that happens. But I didn't want anything to do with it. And I was like, couldn't be further from in my mind. I was like, and bloke's going, mate, just, you're a Sparky. Just go be a Sparky. And I'm like, nah, fucking I hate it. I don't want to do it.
They wipe their ass behind
all the bills. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do
right.
that. And then it wasn't until someone's like, nah, I'll hit up Jared. He works for a guy in Ballina. Like, he'll get you a job. And I'd only ever known him from being on the piss. Like, I didn't know him that well. And I'd only known him, like my business partner now, from seeing him out at the pubs and stuff. So he ended up calling me. I goes, oh, you want a job? Yeah, I think we got a bit going. So then I actually started the same day as the other guy I started the business with, Nick. We started the same day. He put us both on a trial at the same time, and then we both got the job there. We worked there for a few years together.
Yeah.
And I actually fell back in love with it. I loved it. I went from like hating it because I was in the commercial side down in Victoria, and then that was like small resi and then nice houses, moving into that sort of thing. We kind of grew into that with the business.
Yeah.
And just the responsibility I had got thrown pretty much straight in a car, straight away. Go out to jobs. It's going, fuck, I don't even know what I'm doing. We were like, I was calling my old Sparkies back in Melbourne, like, oh, how do I do this? And they're like, oh, fuck, yeah, you got to do this. I'm like, all right, sweet. Like, fully had no idea what I was doing, winged it all. And then I think the realization of going, I've got to fucking pull my head in. This is probably the way I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to end up being a Sparky.
Yeah.
I better,
Or you had your first kid by then,
Yeah, and that's when I was like, boom. And I feel like it all just clicked for me straight away.
Yeah.
And that's when I took on heaps more responsibility, sort of started running all the big projects and stuff there. And that's it all. I feel like stuff I felt like I didn't know just all clicked as well. And everything it all just came. It was like when everything was
just like an epiphany.
It's like an epiphany.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. It was like, bang, right, this is what I'm going to do. And then that's when we started doing it. And I was going, fuck, I think it was seeing what he was doing and being like, I could do this better. And then that's when it started getting into my head about running our own business. And then we started talking about it like, oh, we should do our own thing. And then it all just sort of stemmed from there.
Yeah.
And then that became my focus. That was my goal. That's what I wanted to do. And then it's always growing. And then it was like, we were happy with 2 guys. And I was like, I want to go big almost within a few months. So then that's when we started making the goal to go as big as we could.
Yeah.
So that was the plan. And we're getting there, but now goals change. I don't know if I want to go as big as I did. Like, I'm pretty happy where we are.
Yeah.
And I think like getting on top of like finances and stuff and knowing your net profit was like a big wake up call. We got real big and going, oh shit, we're not making any money. Wind it back, and then finding that sweet spot was like was a big wake up call of actually realizing where we wanted to be.
Yeah. There's this study that you can literally, like, depending on your growth with your company and your employees, there's like different stages of, you might get to, say, just an example, 10 to 15 employees, your revenue might jump, but your net won't move.
No.
So it's one of those things when you get past the 15, 15 to 20 or 25, it might, then there's like this full study that's been done that, and there's like 50 plus to like 100, and there's different stages. It's more like, growth and rev will be there, but your actual net profitability doesn't actually change.
Yeah,
so
I think
it
that's
just
the
comes
thing. With Sparky as well. Like, we're buying everyone a car. You know what I mean? We've got the overheads of everyone's in a vehicle.
Yeah,
and all that
cards,
sort of stuff.
Fuel card,
like,
it's through the
our fuel
roof.
bill is like $7,000 a month, $8,000 a month. Like, there's all those things that people don't think about, and it's different because you wouldn't. You guys, most of your guys subbies, like, they have their own vehicles.
No, everyone's full time. Yeah.
So
we don't supply vehicles. Yeah.
So there's like different overheads of different businesses, and that's what people got to understand. Like, oh, why does Sparky charge more than a chippy? But it's like, well, there's different overheads and stuff. So that's where that all comes in as well.
And I think that's the other thing as well, is like, depending on who you're working for, different companies, different trades and that means different. Like, if you're doing service work and whatnot, some guys expect when they get the employment to be on the same pay, but get the car and get the iPad and get the fucking fuel card. But they tend to forget that all that stuff is fucking, it all adds in, like, it's worth like 20, 30 grand a year extra on top of what you're paying them. So Yeah, nah. For us, it's not something that we ever really look at doing.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we might be doing it in the future, but at the moment, nah, it's
Yeah,
not.
it depends how it is. Like, you know, like you're probably going to the same site every day. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're not driving.
Yeah.
Our guys might drive to 5 jobs or 6 jobs
Yeah.
in a day. So that's
Yeah,
where,
and that's what I
where
mean.
that comes in, and
Yeah.
you got to do that. So
Yeah.
that's like that, you know, and that's another thing coming back to like where you were saying about, I guess, hiccups of growing your business, like learning that is like a big thing, because I feel like a lot of people think they're killing it, and then you start getting a bass bill and you get a fucking big fuel bill, and
Guess
you get
what?
this and you get that, and you go,
Guess what,
"Holy
buddy?
shit."
The fucking, yeah. What do they call it? They call these months like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, this next bass bill that's coming up, that's the fucking the clenching point, because you got your December that's just rolled around, your January that you make no fucking money on because you're just recovering from December, and then you get hit with your bass in Feb, and it's fucking like it all comes crunching down. That's the crunch time of the year, like for us anyway. I don't know what it's like for you guys, but you know, I know heaps of guys that have got heaps of business and they all say the same shit.
Well, I think that's like a good thing, like a good point where you're saying with the January thing, and it's a good like tip for people. If you can do it and work it out, you know you're going to have a big December. You got to make sure that floats you through the January as well.
100%.
And then trying to line up stuff through January. Like we were like this year, we managed to book out pretty much the whole of Jan back in December and push people out. And you convince people like, do you really need that ceiling fan installed like fucking Christmas Eve, or can you wait till start of Jan? Like I'm like, you know, most of our guys came back on the 2nd. So
that's
having that plan and then knowing that January is going to be quiet. And I literally like, I open Xero every day and I'm like, all right, sweet. We're not like, I know it's going to be January's going to be a shit month, but I've got to make sure that everything's getting out quick. We've got the net profit. Like
100%. You just keep to the fundamentals.
And you got to stay on top of that.
As long as you're invoicing out and you know bills are getting paid, like everyone that I know anyway, they all, you know, I met one guy. He does plumbing, but he has his business set up. He runs about the same sort of crew as yourself, and he has his business set up in the way that he'll, over that December break, he leaves about 3-4 guys on to run. So like he obviously organises it throughout the year on who wants to work. But yeah, he says to me like that's one way to keep the, you know, it might not cover your full team, and it never will. No. But it's just a matter of just keeping that.
Oh, when you got
feeding the
20
bees,
guys on annual leave,
you know what I mean.
When you got no money coming in, so
and it fucking dries up real quick. You know what I mean?
And then that's when, you know, we'll do a big like chase of billing in December. Matt, the amount of people that don't pay their bills when they say
this
end of
is
the month
great,
in December is like...
This is the same fucking shit that we're... Literally, I had an argument the other day with some person, and I was like, I'm still chasing payment for the start of December. Like, for us, like because we do like big lump sum contracts, so big items, like, you know, these bills might be like 30, 40,000 at a time on one invoice. So, you know, when that shit doesn't get paid, you know, you're like, fuck, like, come on now.
We have one from December, 140 grand in one invoice.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're still waiting for it now.
Like, it's coming. But then at the same time, as I said to him on the phone, I know exactly what's going on at the back end. You're drip feeding me because I know that you know that bass is coming up and that you're about to get fucked as well, just like how we are. So, like, pay your fucking bill. I sent it to you in December.
It's hard.
You know what I mean? But that's just all, business things, I guess.
I don't think you're ever really going to know who is or who isn't going to pay you. Like, we actually, after getting done, we've rid up. We make people sign a contract now. So we've got our own. So like a builder will give us a contract. If we're doing anything now, we send like a subcontractor to anyone. Like if we're going to work at Woolies and do a job that's going to be a few grand, whatever, we're going to make them sign a contract that they are going to pay that money. Which that was a massive thing. I don't think a lot of people do that. Like builders do, but there's not a lot of Sparkies or plumbers or anyone that are sort of doing that sort of thing. And I think that's a massive. I don't know how liable it is, but it probably looks better when you're going to chase money and go, just remember that you did sign a contract agreement that you're going to pay that money, and it normally gets paid pretty quickly.
For us, like back in the early days, like for me anyway, I basically just started out as like a 1-page waiver. Now it's evolved into like I've got different special conditions for different tasks. Like, so they're all, 2-3 pages long, but I might have like 10 of them. So like depending on the contract works that we might be doing, like for you guys it's a little bit different, but we do some of the stuff that we do is stage work. So You know, we just send out the way like that special condition to go with the subcontract, and that outlines everything. Like what we're doing, the payment terms, and everything. It's all signed. But then even when everything's signed, they still don't fucking pay. So it's like, what do you do? You know what I mean?
What do you do?
Fucking QBCC, it's different down there. But QBCC doesn't. They do fuck all.
Nah, it's the same.
So
there's nothing. Like, you don't really have a leg to stand on. I feel like people know that as well. Like at the moment, we're chasing money from someone. I won't name names, even though I'd really like to. And it's just been, I think it's 6 months for a builder we've never worked for. Did him a favour, $6,000. And just dragging us out, going, we've got cash flow issues. And we're like, mate, well,
it's not my problem.
That if you can't run your business, you can't just like. I ended up getting in contact with the owner of the property because he had said that they hadn't paid him. I actually got in contact with them. And they had paid him. They sent me the receipt, so I've sent that back to him. And it's just like been this evolving thing. I'm like, mate, just don't lie to me. If you don't have the money, just tell me. Do a progress payments or something. Like,
that's
don't go,
literally
it's going to go in next week. And then the next week I'm chasing you, then it's next week. Just go, mate, here's $500 every week or whatever. Just do something.
That's our biggest pet peeve is like, I don't mind, you know, most people that we work for, I can count literally on one hand the amount of people that we work for that pay me on time in full.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very near far in between. But all the other guys, the thing that fucking pisses me off the most isn't the fact of them being late, because I'm usually anticipating being late anyway. You know it's the communication.
And
like,
just lying.
Fucking tell me. Like, if you're late, just be like, hey, listen.
Yeah.
We're not going to be paying you until the 15th. Sorry for any inconvenience. What fucking annoys me the most is when you just don't hear nothing. When you ring them, nothing.
Calls,
Emails, nothing. No communication.
Yeah.
That's what annoys me. Like the other day, I literally rang like the CA lady. I said to her, I said, listen, I don't care if you guys are going to be late or whatever, but when I fucking ring and I ask you or I email you, just fucking ring me back or email me back. Just say, hey, listen, like, be straight up with me. Like, don't fucking lie to me about it, because then I can plan my shit around. You know what I mean? If you're holding fucking 50, 60,000 on me, just fucking tell me, you know what I mean?
And just don't bullshit it. That's the thing. Like, getting bullshitted by someone going, I'll pay it tomorrow, and then it doesn't go in. Obviously, I'm going to call you back and go, mate, your fucking payment didn't go in. No, I'll pay it tomorrow.
It's coming, I swear.
Mate,
send me the pay remittance. It doesn't come.
Stop bullshitting me. I've had that people drag that out. No, I did. Oh, yeah, I paid it at Savo. I should go through. I'm like, why would you tell someone you've paid it? Obviously, the next day when it doesn't go in, I'm going to call you again and go, mate, what are you doing? So, mate, one day, I want to make a way that tradies can have a guarantee that they get paid. That would be like, there's got to be some rules around it, like how you can't go in a restaurant and fucking walk out without getting arrested. But that's
what I was speaking to another guy about. Is like, you know, it's the only fucking industry in the world where you do the job first and then get paid after.
You're literally not allowed to. Like it's illegal for you to charge.
It says it in QBCC. No more than, I think it's like 5 or 10% deposit. That's it. That's what legally they say. So it's like, okay, well, fuck. All right, I got to do. You know, the other day I was speaking and they're like, oh, it was so weird. This concreter come and did my house, fucking $15,000. I didn't have to pay for it for like 3 weeks. Yeah. Like, that's so fucking crazy to me. Like, you don't go to a car dealership and go, oi, I'm going to drive that fucking brand new RAV4 out of here. I'll pay you in 3 weeks. See you later.
Yeah. No.
Like, what the fuck? You don't go to,
but there's no, like, it's not even like any way of chasing up. Like, all you've done is done the job and you've walked away. There's no, like, you know, if you go to a car dealership and then you're signing a lease or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like,
what QBCC should bring into place, and that's something that, like, I've really thought about in the last few years, but what they should bring into place is flip that fucking script on its head. Like, I know it's different down New South Wales, but up here, they should be putting in there that clients, builders, developers, doesn't matter who the fuck's doing work for anyone, that we should get like 50% or 25% up front.
I think if you got a quoted job, what would be the hassle in putting it into a locked account? Which
they do that with developments and stuff where they can see it but they can't touch it. Yeah, it's the same as like
and
a lot
of
the
developers can only be
retention,
released if the job's been completed. Yeah. And then boom, straight away, as soon as the job's completed, are you happy with it? Yeah. Boom, release.
But it still doesn't. It's still like, I feel like that mentality is still like, that's good for the bigger stuff. But like, what about all the fucking 3,000 jobs, 4,000 jobs? You know what I mean? But all those little jobs over the course of the year, like, that makes up a fucking shit ton of money. And
I think
it's
people
like-
know when they're not going to pay as well. Like
Yeah.
people set out going, oh, I'm going to fucking drag this out for a few weeks. It's like, mate, if you want to get something done,
Yeah.
if you don't have the money there, don't fucking book it in.
Oh.
Like if you know you want to get something done that's going to cost you $1,500, just make sure you got the money. And that's why that's another reason of getting away from the hourly rate. Is like if someone calls up and goes, I want 5 fans installed, 4 PowerPoints and this, we've got everything in our system. It's like a rule of averages of
Yep.
what it's going to cost. If we'll ask some questions, and if it's like we got to lift the roof off, obviously it's going to go up.
Yeah.
But we can just spit out a price to them straight away and go, no, it's going to be $2,000. And they go, oh, yeah, okay, it's a bit more than I thought. I go, well, that's the price. And they go, okay, like, yeah, we'll book it in. Then they know what they're up for.
Yeah.
So when you get down the line and you invoice them when we're done, we've
Yeah.
quoted it, we can send the invoice with the same day.
Yeah.
They can't go, oh, it's a bit more than I thought it was going to be, which is what everyone does as well. So
They say that anyway, even if you tell them it's
alleviates-
fucking.
That's
yeah.
what I mean. Alleviates that problem. Most people would rather have a quote and know what they're up for anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's another reason why it's good to do that.
Yeah,
especially
100%.
if you
That's why,
can,
yeah,
as a
we sort of
trade,
lean
yeah.
away from, our industry is a little different because
It's
it's,
different,
you know,
yeah.
there's a lot of fucking moving
Yeah.
parts, especially in the car. Like we're doing a job in Coorparoo in Brisbane here, and there's like 2 like 100-year-old houses in there, and it's like, how
don't
do
know
you
what you're gonna
can't
find.
price it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How long's a piece of
Smash
string?
them
You
with
fucking
varies and
yeah, you know,
goes to
same goes for like a few other jobs that we're doing at the moment, but that just comes down to the trust because I don't know what it's like with you guys dealing with builders and developers, but for us up here, as soon as they hear the word or hourly rate, they all turn into a fucking pumpkin. Like they're all
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, this guy's gonna fuck me!" Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I know.
they
Yeah,
thinking that,
definitely,
and that's just sort of been something that
it
we've had
scares
to build.
people, but I think we're just doing a job now. It's a $15 million build
Yeah.
in Byron, and there's like
It's just Chris Hemsworth house.
we can't
or-
quote that. No, it's not. It's like,
He signed an
it's gonna
NDA.
be- it's gonna
He can't-
be-
he
it's
can't
gonna
talk
be-
about it.
It'll be close to the same sort of scale, and like there's no way we can quote that. I know they've asked for estimates, and I'm like, the plans are changed like
Fucking every
so
week,
many
yeah.
times, and like we're putting conduits in the slab still, like, and
No.
it's like $50,000 of like conduit slabs, so it's all going to be cost plus, and
Yeah.
like it is what it is. We're not
Yeah.
going to make much money because
Yeah.
it's cost plus, but there's no way I would want to be going into a 15 million. You got to remember,
Oh, bro!
you got to have those.
It would either be quadruple what you would need it to be,
100%.
or
Or you're
you
going to scare someone away, and then they're going to go no anyway. So
That's what I mean.
yeah.
And we've had that on jobs before where like I've just been upfront with them and said, listen, I can price this if you want me to,
Yeah.
but fuck me, it's going to be like
Yeah, it's going to scare
3 times as much as what you would
Yeah.
think it would be, or I just go in at cost plus or hourly rate, and I'm not going to make a lot, but this is more of just not a fill-in job, but it's just going to, it'll work out for you, it'll work out for us. And
That's it. Yeah.
so to fill in stuff. But anyway, so there's one more here. Now, you touched on briefly when you spoke to Nathan about these early morning starts. Now, tell us a little bit about like your morning routine, what you're doing at the moment. I offered you a beer before, you didn't want one, so you're doing a little bit of a detox, I see. but-
Yeah, at the moment, just started an 8-week challenge. So it's the Johnny Gannon challenge. Do you know John Gannon?
No.
So he's from Goldie, in Maroubra boy. So he's like does foundation training.
Yeah.
Trains like a lot of the surfers and athletes and stuff like that. And he's got a few different groups that he trains around. So he's from Maroubra with a lot of those boys and trains a few of the guys down there. And then he's got a crew in the Goldie, comes down to Lennox and trains us, goes to Byron and trains a few of the guys there. Some of the high society Byron guys, I guess you'd say. So every year he does an 8-week challenge. So it's no piss for 8 weeks. You got to clean eating and it's you got to try and put on the most muscle, lose the most fat.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge within the group. So each chapter, there's like a Lennox chapter, Byron, Goldie, Maroubra. I think he's got a Newcastle one. Like this is a South Oz one.
Yeah.
So it's a full competition between them. But then there's an overall winner. So last year Pat Rafter won it. He smashed it and won it. And then there's a big after party, which was pretty wild last year. I think 80 people did it last year. And then
Oh,
this year-
sick. So you do it every year?
Yeah.
Or-
So this year's like there's like 200 people doing it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of like there's a lot of athletes in there. So a few of the groups have got some like fucking WSL surfers.
Yeah, weapons, yeah.
obviously the Byron crew's got Pat Rafter on there, and he won it last year. He just went full beast mode and won it last year. We got a ex-Wallaby in our team, so that's good. Barrett Barnes, he's in our team, so hopefully he's doing it this year. He'll smash it. But yeah, it's like that's what I'm doing at the moment. So focusing on that. But every other day, like 4:30, I'm up. I'm down the beach training with a group of guys called the Bodie Boys.
Yeah.
That's just in Lennox, and that's just like a free men's group that just got created by a few of the guys, and it's up to like 100 guys in that group now. It's got a big
sick.
WhatsApp group chat where it's just who's going to. Different person will run a training session. And that's twice a week.
Yeah.
And then
did you always been like fitness minded, like doing all that, or has this only been?
My wife's a personal trainer, so she's definitely been a big driving force to getting me healthy. But like growing up, obviously played sport and stuff, but nothing. I was never the fittest kid or anything like that. And it was the last couple of years, like 2 years ago, is where I've really sort of got into it, and the biggest shift in mental health.
Yeah,
it's the best thing I've ever done. Like for my business, for my mental health, for my family, like 100%. Getting out in the morning and doing that, and it just gives you a clear head.
Yeah, I gotta admit, like we could sit here and talk for another 45 minutes because this is a subject on its own. But like, for like me as well, like personally, like doing. Getting my head right with like eating clean, training, like me and my wife, we've had growing pains with like me, like trying to prioritize that and doing that. But like, I feel like, she's seen the benefit as well.
100%.
And, some days are harder than others, especially with kids and like nothing ever goes to plan. But hey, as long as you just keep getting back on track and going for it. And like, for me, like dropping alcohol and all that sort of stuff, for the bit in business as well. Like, I didn't believe it. Like a lot of guys talk that shit on TikTok and stuff. You're like, you get your fucking, you get your health right, the business will 10x and all that sort of shit.
100%.
But like, it might not you might not triple or quadruple your fucking revenue in 6 months while you get fit. But I think what it allows you to do is just get your head fucking clear.
It's mental clarity.
Yeah, and put
100%.
you in a fucking headspace that will help you push in the direction that you want to go.
Clear mind, clean, healthy mind.
Yeah.
And obviously a good, like, healthy body.
Yeah.
Well, one, it's going to, like, make you live longer. So, and it's going to make you feel better.
Yeah.
It's energy that you've got to put into your family, your business, whatever else, your other hobbies. Yeah. But I noticed the difference. So like the lead up to this challenge, I purposely have put on weight. Like I've put on 7 kilos in the last 3 months, and I've been like eating shit, drinking, because I want to try and see how much I can strip. I want to if I can win it.
Yeah.
So like I put on like
he cheated.
I put 7 kilos on, and man, my brain capacity and just like being able to think straight and like lethargic, and I'm getting home from work and I was going, fuck, like I'm just like, I was so ready to start doing it, and like I'm so keen now just to fully rip in. And I'm 4 days in without drinking and just clean eating, and it's like biggest change. Like I did last year as well, and I didn't end up drinking for another 6 months after it, and it's like best I've ever felt. Had an injury and it kind of fell back off the horse of like training after an injury. So but no, like I love that sort of thing. I want to try and get into some more hard challenges as well. Like I did a 100k run last year for charity, and I want to try and keep doing a few. I'll do that again this year. And I just want to keep trying to do those things. So I'm always trying to. Obviously, the more you train, the better you're going to be able to do those things. But yeah, definitely helps your business. If you don't do anything like that for yourself, do something. Fucking get up in the morning and go for a walk, and I guarantee it'll change the way your day goes. Even if you just start with that.
I speak to my boys like on site about it all the time, and just like say to them like, you don't need to make a drastic change. Just do something.
Stop
eating
meat pies and cans of Coke from the shop.
For my boys, they love playing fucking golf. So every Friday they're playing golf like 18. Like so, but yeah, for me, like, and I guess it goes hand in hand. Like, don't get me wrong, there was times in the business journey, you would say, that the last thing on my mind was fucking working out and eating clean. My only one concern was paying the fucking bills and doing the jobs like every other business owner. You know what I mean? It's not all fucking roses. It wasn't always like cold showers, fucking eating clean, like going to the gym every day, like saunas, and it was never all that. I feel like everyone goes through a phase of like sometime you would know yourself, as you said,
Yeah.
like when you guys were starting out, I bet you back
the
then
last
you
thing on
weren't
my-
fucking thinking
fuck
about,
no.
all you're thinking about is paying
Surviving.
the fucking bills, growing the business. But then I feel like it goes hand in hand. Like once that business evolves and you get to that point and you feel comfortable, then that's how you really fucking deject yourself. Like once you get comfortable with that, you get your fitness sorted, you fucking, yeah, bro, everything just goes. Like, and that's
Well,
sort of where I'm at the moment.
There's
like,
times where you think that you can't do it and you feel guilty for doing something like that when you're like, oh, if I didn't do that, I should be like working on the business, especially when you're busy.
Yeah.
But you got to remember as well, you have to fill your own cup up. You got to
Yeah.
do those things. If you don't do that, you're never going to be the best version of yourself. So taking that time, that's why I do it in the morning. I do it every morning, wake up and I fucking smash it out and I'm done by 6:30, getting a coffee, going to work. Like half the
Yeah.
blokes are still waking up and you've done everything I need to do. That gets
Yeah.
me through the day.
Yeah.
I've done my sessions. I've done everything I've got to do.
Yeah.
And then, especially within that group, we all go to get a coffee at 6:30 after a training session and socialise for half an hour.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to work. It's like,
Yeah.
it's the best way to set up your day.
Yeah,
Like-
and I guess the other thing, the other side thing, being a parent myself as well, is like, how do you go about juggling all of it? You know what I mean? How do
Yeah.
you go about like, for me, sometimes it's hard. Like, don't get me wrong, we're dads. I get it. Like, we don't have the hardest job in the world, but
Yeah.
sometimes it can be difficult. You know what I mean? Like, you're the provider. You're trying to be healthy for your kids because you want, your family deserves the best version of yourself. You're trying to do everything right with that. You're trying to juggle the fucking business, grow the business, be a good husband, be a good dad. How do you, like, for me, it's a little different, but for you, how do you?
Yeah,
and
it's
your-
hard.
Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, I guarantee you, it probably wasn't always fucking.
No, I think it's only been the last year where I've really prioritized them, and that's like,
Yeah.
probably like maybe 2 years. Like, I think my son's like one and a half. So, we've got 3 kids now. So,
Yeah.
but
Busy
it
boy.
was me getting to the point in the business where I could step down a bit and not put it first. I always put it first, like everything. And my excuse to myself was I'm doing it for them. So if I've got to stay late at work till 8 o'clock, it doesn't matter because I'm doing it for them and doing it for them. And like it paid off for me, but I'm not saying that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But it's paid off for me. We're into a point now where I could not, I had a week off last week. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
And nothing's
Yeah.
going to shit. It doesn't matter. So I can be there for them more now.
Yeah.
So when I get home, I'm giving them my whole everything.
Yeah.
Whereas in the mornings, my time, I'm gonna wake up. They fucking asleep when I go to work anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So you know what I mean? That's my time. I do that.
Yeah.
I go to work. I come home and I'm with them.
Yeah.
That means my wife can go off and do what she wants to do. She'll
Yeah.
go do Pilates when I get home.
Yeah.
And then I'll look after the kids, bedtime, do all that stuff. Weekend, same thing. Early morning, I'm out for a surf or whatever, and then
Yeah.
I'll come home and I'm with them for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And you have to find the balance of what works for you. But if I know, like on the weekend, I didn't train in the morning. I trained like midday and I was fucking the worst person. I was like, fuck, like I was angry and just like, I didn't do something for myself in the morning. I didn't wake up early. I slept in, which I never do. I slept in at like 7 o'clock and I felt just like off.
Yeah, you just
and I
fell
know
off,
it's just shit to
That's
them.
the same
So
as me, yeah.
I know that I've got to get up and do it. And
Yeah.
then I can be better for them. So
Yeah. No, 100%. Like for us, like it's the same. We're still, my wife's pregnant at the moment, so we're just like navigating those waters. But yeah, like I've been on now that I would say like at this, hashtag health journey for about 6 months. But yeah, if I'm off, like, and she knows it too. Like she is at the point now where she nearly prefers me to be eating cleaner and going to the gym because like the other day I fucking. We went out, had a bit of shit, like had a fucking meal, like just off, didn't go to the gym and that, and she was just like, yeah, no.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Yeah, they can
legit.
tell,
Like
they
she
pick
was
up on
just sort of saying that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she just fucking she nearly prefers it. So, but it all goes hand in hand. Like it's easy for us, like we sit here now and we talk about it, and there's guys out there probably listening that are going, oh, but it's not that fucking easy. Like we got fucking bills to pay. It's all right for you cunts because you guys can just fucking do what you
100%.
want. Like you guys are the business owner. But hey, we were all fucking in that spot, especially me.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I was eating Chico rolls. I was eating
Yeah.
2-minute noodles, tuna and crackers. Like you ask my wife, she'll tell you everything. And then, it was never all fucking roses and being able to go to the gym in the morning. It was just a matter of like, putting in the sacrifices at the start when everyone had their normal jobs and, you know, they were getting in the money every week and they were going on paid annual leave and all that shit, fucking there was no paid annual leave for me. There was no fucking, you know, weekends, holidays, nothing. It was just shit money for a fucking long amount of time. And then over time, you know, like yourself, like you've said before, you know, the fails and stuff. So
it's all learning curve. And that's what you can say to those people that would say, oh, it's all good for you. It's like, mate, well, if you don't run your own business, then you're switching off at 3:30. Yeah. So that's fine. You can do whatever you got. Do something. Then we've all got the same amount of time in the day. We've all got fucking 24 hours. Get up earlier to do something, whatever it is. Yeah. For the people that run a business and are going to say that, like, what are you doing to help yourself? Like, if you're not doing something that's going to help yourself, you can't just sit there and complain that others have got it better than you. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going to put in, you're not going to get out. Yeah. So those people have got to fucking, you know, and that's where it comes down to the coaching or whatever it's going to be.
Whatever you need to do, like for us, like as I said to you off camera before, like we're spending a shit ton of money this year on like coaching and like, you know, my wife, she doesn't question it ever. Yeah. Like she's always like, do it. Do it. Just keep fucking doing it.
It's investment. It's going to make your business better.
Yeah, like so it's, you know, we're hoping by the end of this year, like we're even in a better position. You know, I wouldn't say I've stepped away from the business at all. Like I'm still here, you know, 3-4 days a week. But I think I was speaking to another guy about it, and the way that he sort of put it, it's like we might to everyone else it might seem like, you know, we don't, you know, they might see us, you know, my family might be like, oh, he's always at home. Yeah. And then, you know, these guys might be like, oh, he's always in the office. But it's not that at all. It's just that we might do the same amount of hours or more hours than anyone else that's in the business. But we have the luxury of being like, all right, well, we're going to go through on a Sunday and I'll be in the fucking office for 7 hours. So then I don't have to come in on the Monday and Tuesday. Like that's the...
And you got to remember as well, like as a business owner, you're never switching off. Like you never, your brain's never switching off. You might not be in for that day, but it doesn't mean like I'm away last week and I'm still thinking about work every day. You know what I mean? Like I'll never fully switch away from it. So like when people that work for you got to have that understanding, like they get to go home at 3:30 and forget about it. They don't have to worry about the BAS bills and the tax bills and the shit that you're thinking about in the back of your head going, fuck, gotta do that. You know what I mean? Like the stresses that people don't know about or don't think about, they just see you, you know, the guy that owns a business, he's cruising and he's fucking doing his podcast and then going home and doing this. And
doing he does fucking nothing other than just sit behind the podcast and listen. There's a lot more to it. It's just fucking...
Yeah, 100%. There's so much stuff that people don't see. And like, I've brought some guys into the business now as project managers and I'm showing them numbers. Yeah. And I've brought them in that close into the business. And biggest realization for them was seeing that and they're like, fuck, like... And it's probably the best thing we've ever done. And profitability wise, and like, just like the guys on site, like they're driving it harder because they know exactly what's going on. They know the numbers now, and they go, "Oh fuck, right." Like I didn't even know that. Like, you know what I mean? So bringing those people in and showing them that was like a massive turning point for us as well. So just getting them a bit more involved. And
nah, man, you're doing well. You know what I mean? Like from what I can see, anyway, it looks good. You know. Yeah, if you ever venture out into bigger cities and stuff like that, you definitely can meet.
It's on our radar. Like we definitely want to move. We're thinking we want to open up like a Goldie sort of branch. Like that's one of our goals for the next few years. We want to start moving up here, shake it up here. And
oh, bro, as I said, like, and that just I feel like socials, you know, comes all the way back to it as well. You know what I mean? If you can create that brand. Gold Coast is the one place in fucking Australia that it's all about fucking how many followers you got, you know. But
well, we're from the Goldie, we're only an hour away, really. So you know, like we go up that far and we work, and the amount of Goldie Sparkies that come down where we are as well. Like
I'm sure if you ask some of your boys and be like, "Well, listen, we're moving up there," I'm sure some of them would be like, "Fucking."
One of the guys that works for us lives up in the Goldie already. So like
nah, man,
it's on the radar. So. Keep an eye on it, hopefully.
Go from 20 to 40, yeah? And then we'll talk in a few years and you'll be like, plans have changed. I said I found the sweet spot. We've got a new sweet spot now. We've got 50.
You've got to change the goalpost always. Never 100%. Stay stagnant.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to keep growing, otherwise you'll die.
That's all right.
Sweet as. Well, we're going to round this one out. So, Josh, thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it. I hope we brought a lot of inside information to you guys that are listening. I feel like we just basically just had a chat the whole time.
Pretty much.
There wasn't really any agenda, but hey, if anyone out there that's listening draws anything from it, let us know. And yeah, that's it.
I'm looking forward to getting some hate comments.
Yeah, keep them coming, please.
Yeah.
All right.